as soon as we would say, Wallace, come beep, he would like sprint at you.
Sure.
Yeah, I think his recall is doing really well. I think like
his stay is doing really well.
Stays
he can like walk around them and like drop the leash and like move back, so that's great.
Great.
I feel like his heel could be, I feel like we could work on that, or like I could work on that a little bit more, because I think like, I don't know, like also I feel like I forget like what happened in class 1, where it's like, when do I stop and like turn?
To turn, sure.
But yeah, I think like at times he like gets a little too like end of the, even though it's like a tiny, I'm not giving him a loud leash, I'm like holding it like right here, but
sure.
Like this way, that way. So just I need to start like continuing to work on that. But I think his recall is awesome. His stay is great. Like Bree also walked behind him today and he stayed, so that was good.
Yeah. I think it's just the heel, like we're just not doing it like as much as like the first class we were doing it every single time we walked outside.
Sure.
So like now we like let him go play and then we work on recall to like call him back. So we just need to like incorporate it more, and then I just feel like he's getting a little bit distracted with his heel, especially like my parents' dog was up there and we were walking together and I had him in a heel and he was just like was looking at Charlie, and it was just like so.
Yeah, it wasn't very serious.
I think we just need to do it more. Just need to like do it more again, but it's nothing like. I think just like a few times and he'll be back where.
So it's probably not even that. It's just raise the number.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so the most common thing I get is after the winter, is in the springtime, people, they don't do as much with their dogs and stuff, that things kind of, they fall back a bit. And then I'll tell them like, well, what are you seeing, right? And they're like, it's like the heel, like, because the most obvious thing is heel, because that's what you do like every day, most people, when they walk their dog. They'll say like, oh, he's not healing anymore. And I was like, what's your level? They're like 24. I'm like, go to 38.
Yeah.
And then like, it worked.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Because once they got the concept, he already knows or has a concept of what he's supposed to do.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of is it important enough to do?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's where number comes in.
Yeah.
Because you could say, Jesse, he's got a perfect heel here, but when we go up, to visit our family, whatever, it's terrible.
Yeah.
And I go, because now it's a new environment. So now you need to override the environment, because he knows it, because he's been doing it great here. Right. So it's just higher number.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, I would have to like beep him twice, and I'm like, I should not have to beep you twice. Like you should like, because the first time he'd be like, oh, and then he would like take his sweet time to like get back. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No.
Nothing I can think of. No.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been good.
So we did the recall, we did the heel, we did the stay.
Yep.
Right. And we've been doing stuff with the long leash. Did we start blending everything on the long leash yet?
I don't think so. So the last time we did, like, I was like walking with Wallace, walking away, and then Brian called him.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Right back. So
for
that's
sure.
like the last one that we did.
Did we do the side steps?
Yes.
Okay, we did that.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So what we're gonna do is we'll pop out our long leash, and this exercise will target tightening up the heel as well.
Okay.
And I'm gonna start showing you how to progress this towards like off-leash reliability.
Okay.
Because everything that you've learned so far can be pushed up to off-leash. It just takes practice.
Yeah.
Okay. So and what I do is I like to blend these three things together: the heel, the stay, and the recall.
Okay.
Because now you have like three different topics. You have walk with me, you have come to me, and you have don't move.
Yep.
So then to see what is kind of concept is of each word, I like to put them on the long leash and then start blending everything together.
Okay.
So work on that. Anything else?
No. Do you want double long leash or just the 20-foot?
Oh, yeah, let's do double long leash.
Okay.
Sure. Because it's 40 feet total, right then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah. Hey.
We'll start with a quick warm up. However you've been practicing, to show me how you're going about it and stuff.
Okay.
Are you going to keep the short leash on him as well? Or
No, I'll take it off. I didn't know if we were doing like the one person holds him back and they.
Well, now that we have a cue, and what you can do is actually hold them on the long leash if you need to keep them in place or anything. Yeah. The short leashes in the beginning is because there needs to be some kind of tension. So if you're holding on to that leash, the tension wouldn't go through because you're holding it.
Oh, got it.
Okay, so now that we've already got all that out the way, we can put that up and then just work, because now we get the word. And when you release him to like go play and stuff, is he pretty loose or is he still? Is he
no,
like?
He's pretty. Yeah, he's like normal.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's
Cool.
not timid at all.
Okay. Good turn. Good pivot.
Do you want me to do like stay?
Yeah. How's that been with the crossing over thing?
It's not. I mean, this is probably one of the worst times. Normally he's kind of like.
Just angled a bit,
Yeah.
but okay.
Stay. Up. Stay.
Good.
Can I? So after this, do I break him or can I go right back in the heel?
You can do either. So, when you give a new command, it overrides the old one, right? So break is technically a command. It's a release command, right? So you could do either or. And like, so some clients will ask me like, they'll release the dog after every command and then give them the next command. So instead of going from a stay into a heel, they'll go stay, then they'll go break, then heel. And I'll tell them like, were you gonna just do that? And they're like, yeah, I thought I had to release the dog. I'm like, no. Like, you can just say heel. So you don't have to release before the next command. Okay? Because they're all commands in themselves. So you can do whatever you'd like.
Okay, cool. Well, heel.
And what's his number been?
I think like with me, I've been doing like 30s now.
Okay. Oh, really?
I don't know what she's got it. What you got it at right now?
14.
Okay. So I remember before I was like 13, 16 when you were doing the practicing here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I like normally when I'm working with him, it's like all like kind of recall stuff, so I just leave it there and then I bump it up if he like runs far. Like.
Gotcha.
We had to bump it up once, and I think the number that I bumped it to, I didn't really look, I just bumped it.
Yeah.
To get him, it was like 70, 80, I think is what I looked at.
Okay. Did he yip?
He was far enough away that I didn't hear a yip, but he was also far enough away that I could not far enough away where I couldn't see him like make the flinch and run right back.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. All right. Good. Let's go ahead and swap handlers. Does he know down by chance, just from before?
No.
There's a treat that's like guiding
him. He knows down. But
Oh, okay. So he does kind of know it, just not without the treat.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
Wallace, heel.
Good turn.
Stay. Heel.
Have you done heel with the long leash, like dragging or anything like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like on the way back from like the morning play group, I can heel him all the way back off leash.
Okay.
But like, I think it's because he's tired and not like hampered.
Sure. Yeah. Once
If we go there, it doesn't work as well. It's like he always, yeah.
Okay. Cool. So that gives us something to work with.
Yeah.
Stay.
All right. So go ahead and release him, and then We'll give him some freedom here and do a recall.
Okay. Damn leash. That's great. Go play. Here.
It's like, what?
That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. What's that? That's cool. That's cool. Touch it.
Ha, he's like, nope.
Wallace, come.
Nice.
Isn't it supposed to be on my left side?
Doesn't matter. As long as he's right in your immediate space, which he is. I think before he kept targeting the left side.
Like,
Oh yeah, he would overshoot and come around.
Yeah.
So technically, the way that I teach it is simple, just close, right? Now, if you want him to target a specific side, what I would do is when you call him, you'd want to incorporate food and have it always on that left side, so he starts to favor it.
Okay.
And eventually you practice so much that he'll start to come towards that area always.
Got it. Wallace, heel.
And with the walking away recall, did we do the running too or just the walking?
Just walking.
Okay, all right, cool. All right. He's looking though. He got something on the brain.
What's that? Oh, what's that? Hi, Bebe. Hey.
Wallace, come.
Good. Good. Okay, go ahead and bring him back. All right. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna start practicing everything but with the leash dragging. Then we're gonna also revisit those like walk away recalls, but instead of walking away, we'll do it. So he's able to do that, right? You can walk and he'll just disengage.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next thing I do is run. Okay. Because that's the most realistic.
Yeah.
Is typically when the person needs the dog to come back, like they're like running towards something.
Yeah.
Okay. So we can recreate that way. Questions so far? So what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna have you heel him. You're actually gonna leave the leash slack. I saw him rolling it up and I was like, oh. So you're gonna leave that slack just like that, okay? Did I tell you about the turn away, like I guess you call them turnaways for the heel? So you know when we do left, you're crossing over Wallace here, and then the pivots. So when you're doing off leash, if you do an immediate right turn, so it's kind of like a crossover, but instead of going left, you're going to go right, is you move immediately out of his range, visually.
Okay.
So what I like to do is during the heel, I'll be walking with him like this, and it's just out of nowhere, turn off like that, and start remoting, because you're going to inevitably create a gap the first few times, right? It's an unfair move, but it's so I can force the disconnect, so I can use the remote to see what do you do, right? Obviously you can move into us, but you might see some confusion. You might start running off the wrong way. You keep moving, and remoting, you could pull in some tension if you need to, just to kind of help direct move a bit more. But you're like walking straight, and out of nowhere, you're just gonna turn this way, okay?
And like the minute I turn remote?
The minute you turn and you see space, okay? Because he might just turn with you, okay? So if you turn and you go like this, like nice try, you can't do anything. But if I turn and he keeps going straight or just away from me, the moment you see that gap, you can give it a tap and start remoting to get him to close it, okay? We'll focus on that first, and then we're gonna start blending everything.
Gotcha.
Questions?
No.
Go for it.
Wallace, heel.
Tap, 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 tap. Let's go in and, what's your number?
20 right now.
Let's go 24. But that was a good one. That was correct.
Wallace, heel.
Tap, 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 tap. Okay, let's go 28. Tap, 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 tap. Better. Do you see the difference there?
Yeah.
What is it?
Set up.
Yeah, it's faster. Go do a couple more. Tap, that's better. Tap, yep. Much better.
This is like kind of training him, like, you need to be closer when he's in like off-leash heel, right? So like
As close as possible.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Go ahead and turn this way. Tap, tap. And then when you come to the stop here, be prepared to turn into him in case he tries to cross over. Okay?
Like, just run into him right now?
This is okay. Because he, like,
technicality.
it's like right, like at the cusp of like being too much. So it,
What would be too much to where I like do?
Because like chest is in front of you, right?
yeah, like directly facing you.
Okay.
Like he's still like,
Sorry.
no, you're fine. He's crossing over you. And if you move with that right, like you'd say he'll move with your right leg forward and it would just push him off to your left, right? So you can still fix that, but if he's directly in front of you, like he's just in the way, okay? So did you notice?
Right leg him to get him out, or would
Yeah.
it?
Right.
Heel
Heel is left leg. You're correct. But when this happens, the exception to that rule is here, because if you did left leg, you would push him out.
Okay.
You would push him out to your right. So then he comes out of position.
Gotcha.
So to keep him in position, I'll say heel, but right leg him to push him off to my left.
Okay.
Okay.
Gotcha.
But you are correct. Left would be left. Heel would be left leg.
Gotcha.
When you went, you're at 28 now.
Yes, 28.
Did you see the difference between 20, 24, and 28?
Yeah, I felt like the later ones were a little quicker. They were still delayed, but like they were not as delayed.
Yeah, he was moving quickly, more quickly, right? Yeah. And then you said something about how close he was.
Yeah.
Right? So when we do off-leash obedience, for the heel, again, people tend to judge it by the dog's not pulling that much.
Yeah.
Okay? Heel is not about pulling not that much or whatever, not pulling that much. Yeah. Yeah. Like you got the super black and white. Now this is, we're gonna ignore this for now, so correction. Is, like I have a client right now, her dog walks much better than he was, and he's kind of like this far away, but he's a sider, right? And we just covered the recall, the first class, so then we started working on long leash heel, and he just completely went all over the place, okay? So then I knew that was gonna happen because the heel already wasn't tight, right? So it has to be this close in order to have no leash to be possible, okay? Again, when people excuse things, I personally don't care. Like I have my standard, because that's my off-leash standard, and that's like the best. But for a client, they might go like, well, I'm cool with the dog not being super tight, or, you know, they're like, I'm great with this. And I go, great. But don't walk your dog off leash then, because that is not acceptable, because the dog will take off, okay? So what I was looking for is, as we increase that power, just like that moment when you said you had to go to 70, like you just jacked it up, whatever, and you saw the jerk and you completely, like you really ran that. That's what I'm wanting.
Yeah.
So if he's in an off-leash heel and it's super tight, well, one, we shouldn't even get that space, you know? Like let's say you're walking towards like a tree with squirrels in it, and it's an off-leash heel, he should stay in that heel. And you walk right past the squirrels. But to him, you're walking directly to them, right? So it's very tempting, and I had that with another client. Her dog's a German Short-haired Pointer, and he's a pup. He's like 8-9 months. He's known for 2 months for Daycare, and she's doing off-leash training with him. And she had him on the long leash, and she learned that his off-leash level is actually 80-90.
Oh
okay?
wow!
Yeah.
Wait, is this questions by Walter?
Yes.
Yeah.
Walter.
We're Instagram friends.
Yeah. So does he have it?
Yes, Wallace does, yeah.
Wallace Williams.
Okay, I gotta look him up. I follow the dog.
Yeah.
Oh, right on, yeah.
So it's Walter. So we were tightening things up, and she's walking towards the tree, and he's like locked on it. And funny enough, like I had turned around because our stuff was laying down, I went to check on it, and right when I turned, I just heard rip, right? And I turned around and he's beelining back to her. And she's like, "Did you see that?" He ran away. And I was like, no. So, but she had to go to like 100.
Yeah.
So but she was tempting. You know, she's like, "We're walking straight to the thing that you love." And he prematurely broke, and she tapped him, and he ran straight back, right? But then the rest of the class, he didn't want to leave the side because of that, correct? And then his level dipped down all the way down to like 20 or 30 because of the heavy hit.
Yeah.
But typically his number is like 80 when there's other like squirrels, rabbits, stuff around.
Yeah.
It's very prey driven. Okay. So you're using that stuff to your advantage.
Yeah.
So here, I know what I'm looking for because if he gets away from me, I don't want to waste time tapping and turning. I want to already know what my perfect number is. Okay, so I know 28 is closer, and you said it was faster, but you still felt like it was a delay.
Yeah.
And I would agree with that. Like it was much better compared to 20, but it could be even faster.
I feel like 35 maybe is like a better...
Right. So what I would do is we're at 28, right? I'd go like 32, right in the middle. We see what it does. If it's still like a little laggy, then I keep going up. Now, what we could possibly create then is as we're trying to get really fast speed, very close tightness, is maybe you put too much behind it and it makes them go way because you're at that breaking point. So you hit the breaking point, but instead of it going, hey, I should go faster, he's thinking, screw this, I'm going to run away from this. So I keep him under that pressure, and then he goes, crap, I can't run away from it. So then the next time you tap him on whatever number, and you might go lower, like with Walter, boom, here I am. Very easily. Okay, because you broke through that resistance, and you made him figure out, like, there's no way to get away from it but compliance. So once he learns that, he's thinking, I want to make my life easier, because this thing will go up to, X number, and I don't want that to happen again. Okay? So keep playing with that. All that looked good. Your turns were correct, and you could see the space that you were kind of forcing. There was one that he was able to kind of catch on, and I think he only was able to catch once. But, so at some point he will get it. But in the beginning, when they're not aware of it, I think you can my advantage. And then create gap and play with them. Okay?
Gotcha.
I'm going to try it again. We're going to go to 32 here. And instead of going straight forward, just heel and turn immediately off to your right.
Okay. Wallace, heel.
Tap. Yep. Tap. There you go. Right there. Exactly. Try a left turn. Right, forward, there you go. Much better. A lot faster. Right, very good.
He basically like, screw this, like I'm done.
Not so much done, like he's actually doing, there you go, look how, there you go. Good, and then walk towards me again. No, it's not a screw this. It did deflect him, like he did kind of panic there a bit.
Yeah.
Forward, there you go, wait a moment. Slow down to a stop. And, even better with the sit there. Okay? A little avoidance behavior, though. So
I tapped him when he jumped on me?
That was correct.
Time?
Yeah. Okay. He yipped because technically it was an overhit for the behavior. But, you're not always going to have time to fiddle with it.
Yeah.
So we went to 32, correct?
Yeah. He definitely didn't like that one.
All we did was we just went 4 levels higher than where we were at before, right?
Yeah.
So that's why, had you gone 35, it could have possibly been too much, right? So I went right in that middle.
Yeah.
Could it also just be like, because when we do like recalls sometimes, like if he's running away in the park, like I'll beep him at 35, but he's never had like that, like I've never heard him yell. So like, could that just be like a connectivity issue between like, not issue, but like when we're in the park and he's farther away and I got close to my hip, it's not as maybe as strong, or like...
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, so one could be if he's at the park and he's playing with dogs, or even if like he's just free, the brain is elsewhere, right? It's distracted. So he's not going to feel the full power.
Okay.
So remember when we did working number? Like, dog was staring at something and I see this big old contraction, but nothing's going on here.
Yeah.
And it's so focused on that, right? And then I go to 52 and all of a sudden the dog's like, oh, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
And everyone's like, holy crap. I'm like, yeah, because they're so distracted by that, they literally did not feel that.
So he's like hyper-focused here, where he's like
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
So he feels it.
and we were doing this, we were practicing, right? The more you work with them on this, the more focused he gets, the more receptive he gets to the collar. Okay. So, because right now we're in the training session. Now, I will note, and we'll see how this progresses, is you got that jumping behavior, that was frustration, you tapped him, that was fine, then you came to a stop, but he finally didn't do that crossover. Yeah? So, if we see he straightens up now, you know, and you might think it's kind of counterintuitive, because earlier, because when he turns and crosses in front of you, it's not a bad thing, because he's like well, I'm looking at you, I know what you're going to do next, right?
Yeah.
But the other part of it is like, he's not supposed to be here. He's supposed to be here. Right? Right shoulder, left leg. So when you make this super important, then we don't get the other problem.
Yeah.
You know, you indirectly fix this because he's more worried about this.
Right.
Okay? So let's try 30. We're going to go down to 2 numbers here. We're going to try that one more time. And then we're going to swap handlers. But that's the exact speed that I want. Like he was shooting forward, right? And then he'd shoot forward and buck back because it was like a little bit too much. Is that urgency, okay? So when you walk with him in a standard heel, your number may change. Try to create that response whenever he makes a mistake, okay? Because that's what you're conditioning, okay? So like I remember my dogs, they would be so paranoid that when I would slow down, they'd only start sitting. So they would be walking like this with their back, because they're like, when are you going to stop? When are you going to stop? When are you going to stop? Right? When are you going to move? When are you going to move?
Yeah.
You're creating that paranoia where they don't want to make a mistake.
Right.
And in the beginning, it looks like very paranoid. But once they get that mental connection, and they go, oh, okay, cool. Like, I know what to do here. I don't have to be so on edge.
Yeah.
And I start laying off the remote because they're doing everything correctly. Everything starts to back itself.
Yeah.
Okay? So, but that was much better. Try it again.
Wallace, heel.
Yeah. Now, if he keeps trying this is where you do a left turn. Bump, bump, bump. Pivot inwards. There you go. Forward. Right. Now do a left turn. We gotta balance this out. There you go. Yeah, there you go. That was a good one. There you go. Left turn again. Keep forward. Yep.
Oh, hey, dude.
Keep forward. Keep forward. Keep forward. Keep forward. You got it. There you go. You got it. Good. You got it. Now forward. Now forward. Good. 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 There you go. You know, left turn again. I might have to show him.
Yeah.
It's the way you're turning. Go ahead and slow to a stop here. And what we can do here, he's back. All right.
Do like the 2 steps back, or?
I'll show you. That was good though.
now. So when you do your turns, I'm trying to think of how. I think you slide and then do this, as opposed to just going into the turn like that. Yeah. And I think when you're doing that pivot, it's throwing just the timing off of it. So it just be when you're going left, straight into it, as opposed to okay. There was only one time when you got out of line and I actually finally catch them and now they want to turn in. So like the whole time I'm watching him and his placement and timing when I was turning into him, when I would see that it would work. Okay, there's part of that as well. And it all depends on how angled out he was. There was some even like this, where he was kind of perpendicular. So I had to time it correctly so that when I turned in, they would bring up to that left side. Okay. Now the main, and I lost him twice. You saw me shuffle, and I just kept moving, and I tapped, and then he came back into that. Was good like that. But it's just in the moment, you're just thinking, how do I get him back? And then once he's back, you're thinking, how do I trade him? Okay. So we're trying to swap.
But I just down ready now. Because now we got, like what I said with Walter. When she hit him on 100, they went all the way down to 20.
Okay, so we didn't need all that extra power.
What?
Just like, he's like very on. Alright. Wallace heel.
Yeah, see how he does it? So try just stepping right. Okay?
Try to.
So it's more like just real natural. Just do something extra.
Like, I go like.
I feel like you're making too much of a right turn. Like do like a little bit angle.
Wait, so like this, like some like.
Yeah.
That?
Yeah, because you're like going like this and like placing. Like you
Yeah.
need to be like a little bit more
Natural?
like stop lifting your leg up so much. Like
Yeah, more natural essentially. Yeah. Because you don't want to be looking. He did a little bit still. That's fine. Forward tap. There you go. Good. Better. Then you want it. There you go. That was better. Right? Good. There you go. Right, keep that turning, keep that turning. There you go, good move, there you go. Much better, much better. We're gonna do a couple more, then we'll swap.
ultimate stretch.
I know, right? Ball, dog. Very good. Going to bring them this way. And then you'll slow to a stop. That's okay. That's acceptable. Now go ahead and give them a stay.
Stay.
And then bring the leash and the remote over, and we'll pass off.
Okay.
That was a lot better. That was much better. So here, come in and pet Wallace. Give him some praise, and then you'll step away again, but he should stay put.
That's a boy?
Yeah, so he's still in a stay. There you go. Very good. So when you give a command, it remains in effect until you give a break or a heel, and if you swap handlers, so he's technically still under your command, okay? But once she comes in and goes heel, or she goes break, now that command overrides your command. Now she's in control. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, so then you'll come back to his side, and I'll have you do that same, those right turns, and then if you feel like Wallace is, when you're doing the right turns, is kind of overcompensating too much, that's when you counter him with those left turns, because you're trying to balance out the paranoia that you just created. And that 30 to 18 now, you're still getting the same speed, but not as much panic. Okay, so that's another thing to take into account, okay? This is much better. Good move. Yep. Good turn. Good. Good. Very good. Go ahead and slow down to a stop. I'm okay with that too, okay? And I don't know if you noticed earlier, because he did do like an over placement, but instead of like moving or anything, I just took the leash by the collar and I tapped him back to my side. That's also another option you can use. If the turn-ins aren't working, you can correct them for mispositioning, but you have to direct them to general area, okay? So we're gonna do same stuff, but I'm also gonna have you go into light jogs. So you go into a light jog, and during that jog, you'll do a random just turn off, okay? And we're gonna see how fast he fixes that. Now, because your speed is faster, he's gonna need a little bit of a bigger window, but we're just looking for that really quick response, okay? There you go. That's good. Good turn. Good, and then normal speed. Good, go ahead and drop your leash. You'll keep your movement. Drop your leash. Go ahead and just do a pivot here. Good pivot. And change your speed again. Good. Good pivot. Nice. Go ahead and pivot back this way, and then you'll look. There you go. Good fix, and then slow to a stop. So then here, okay. So you're gonna grab your leash, right close to the collar. A little bit of tension towards your. Grab a little bit closer. Right there. Yep. And as you're pulling to your left, you're gonna tap, 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 tap. Right. Yep. And then now a little bit inwards and forwards as you tap. And then back again. Tap, tap. Right there. And then you relax. Good. So now you're just being nitpicky about a few things, okay? All that looked really good. All right. So now, he's going to be exhausted, by the way.
Good.
So, earlier, we were talking about, of course you're not going from point A to point B, right? And you're not going to point B where he plays with his friends and stuff. But most likely it's just going to be your number, okay? So when you're on that short leash, like if you're at 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, whatever, and at this rate, because you've done this now for going on 5 weeks, he has it takes dogs typically 2 weeks to develop a concept, but in my experience, within the first class, within the first 15 minutes, they get it. Yeah. It's just a matter of making it important enough for them to do it, right? Yeah. If I'm walking with Wallace at 16 and he passes and I turn and tap him, that's one correction. I'm not going to do that 3 correction rule anymore. I'm going to just go 20, 24, 28. Like each time, I'm just going to bump it so I get there faster. And then it's like if every walk it's always going to 32 and then he's perfect, then I start my walks off at 32. Yeah. And the next thing you know, as soon as you walk out the door, it's Wallace heel. And you're like, man, he's so good. I bet you can off-leash walk him to the park and back and all that stuff, no problem. Yeah. That's how it should feel like. Okay. Cool. So do you see the difference now with just playing with that number a bit?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, because like before he was healing technically, but like it'd be like you tap and he's like, okay, I'll come back to you, and like you could tell he was just getting a little like complacent. Like you would feel it, you'd see him, but it just wasn't like
urgent.
Snappy.
Exactly. Okay. And how you practice and how you apply this, and the way he responds when you apply it, is what you're realistically teaching, right? So I always stress recall because that's like the most important thing, is make sure that recall is fast. It has to be immediate, otherwise it's not effective.
Right.
For the heel, if you're wanting to push everything to the highest level, it's really that simple. So the next thing I would do is if I drill this for a week, and I like to change like random directions and stuff, like stuff that's completely like not even normal. Yeah. So I'm shooting for like 110% because you're not going to get 110. You're going to get like 90 or so. But you're going to get as close to 100 that you would, unless rather than practicing at like a lower degree. Yeah. So once you feel like all this is spot on and like you have the leash dragging and stuff, in the winter time or whatever, like tennis courts, nobody uses them. That's where a lot of my clients go to practice this stuff. Yeah. If you don't want to risk, maybe him still making a mistake. Yeah. Everything after that first one with you and that 30 where he did try to run off, everything since that one time has been return. Yeah. And he even did it with me. Yeah. With somebody that he hasn't done this with. Yeah. Okay, so you see how fast that even transferred? Yeah. Okay, so that's why I love e-collars so much, because as long as the person, so if any of my employees took this guy, it would be the same level of control, the same understanding and concepts and respect, just boom, transfer over, because they already know how to do this stuff. Yeah. They already know the movements. So once he sees that relationship of like, oh, this is exactly the same, boom, just transfers over. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. Questions about this?
No.
All right.
Great.
So what we're going to do here is we're going to start blending things. Okay. So we're going to go back to the one handler with Wallace, one handler at the end of the leash. Okay. We're going to go back. We're going to just warm him up with the turn away. Okay. We might see some regression there, because we did a lot of heel stuff right now. Yeah. So if you're walking away with Wallace, he might actually come in tighter now. So because we're doing conflicting ideas. Yeah. So if I worked with him on my own time, like I would space these things apart, but because it's a training session, we just have to do it. Okay. But we're gonna go ahead and first start with the walkaways, and then we're gonna bump it up to like running away and then start working with things, okay?
Do I put the short leash on for this
You can keep the long leash, because once he calls him, you'll just let go.
Okay.
So you're walking?
I think, no, you're going.
No, who's walking away? Me? Who has the collar?
Sure.
Okay.
Oh wait, no. You're doing the recall.
I'm calling.
Yeah.
So he's walking away. You're walking away. And then,
So when I need the collar?
No, because I'm going to be the one calling you.
Oh, wait. We're mixed up here. Who's going to call Wallace?
I'll call him.
Okay, so then you take the end of the long leash. Okay. You're going to grab the long leash by his collar.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah, and then here you just start walking away.
I walk away? Free walks away.
You walk away. Because you're replicating the movement away. Yeah.
Okay. So I say like heel to like... Okay.
I leave that out of it for now, because we did so much, I don't want him to get confused. Go ahead. Good. Yep. Good. Now go ahead and you're going to go into the side steps here. Now try backwards. And what you're going to do here is go ahead and just step up so you're next to him. That's fine. Hold right there. Give him a stay. Back to his side. Praise. Step away again. Good. Back to his side. And you can let the leash drag and you're just gonna heel him and walk towards him and then release and then we'll repeat. Go ahead and pivot. And slow to a stop. Okay, we're gonna ignore this for now. So, by the way, when I start, when you work with Wallace, once you're thinking topics, so like let's say you want to really address that, then you'd have a training session where you're focusing on addressing that. Okay. Right now we've changed the topic to the walkaway with the. So you see how he struggled. You know, so like let's say before he was like, yo, he was doing really good. But today we did a lot of heel stuff. So now it's going to cause, again, like some of that regression. So I forgive that, not a problem. We expect that. And then we're blending this stuff together. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So whenever you work with them, like let's say for the recall, the turns were really slow, then you'd want to do a session where you're focusing on making them turn really quick for the recall.
And not going back and forth to everything.
Exactly, because if you try to incorporate everything all at once and isolating that, it's too many things for him to think about.
Yeah.
Okay? Break. So repeat that again. No? Right? Good. 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 Now here, even though he's facing backwards, go ahead and say heel, move forwards. And then you'll slow to a stop. This is okay for now. You're gonna go ahead and just give a stay. So now we're just blending everything together. Okay, going between the recall, the side steps, and heel and the stay. We're taking 4 kind of movements and then using them in different places. And this shows you just how much of a concept he has. His stay is really good. And I think I've told you guys before, but just in case I didn't, I don't do recalls from stays.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, because I actually had a client do that, and her dog, she was doing great, and then all of a sudden her dog wouldn't hold the stay anymore. So then I was like, have you been doing come when called from stay? She's like, yeah. I'm like, that's why. So we fixed it, no problem.
Because they're just like anticipating it.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead and release them here. And then now we'll swap handlers. Go ahead.
Wallace, come.
Good turn. Good turn. Right. Go ahead and let your leash drag here. And side steps, yep. Good jump. Good. And then you'll go heel forward.
Wallace, heel.
Nice turn. I have you try a random right turn when you're ready. There you go. Now here you have to balance that with the left turn. Right. Good job. There you go. You got it. Good. And you can walk him towards Bree. Then you'll slow to a stop. That's fine. Good. And brake. Good. We're going to try that again.
Well, let's go.
Attaboy. Good. Tap, tap. There it is. Attaboy. Good. Go ahead and drop your leash. And here, go straight to a heel.
Well, let's heel.
The leg.
Yeah, that's right.
At least you caught it though. Good turn. Yep, good job. Good. Go ahead and slow to a stop. Yep, go ahead and give him a stay.
Okay.
And go ahead and stand over by Bree. All right. So, taking all those things that we've done over the past 3 weeks and now making it a bigger training session. Okay. You don't want to tack on our trade pattern. You know, so I wouldn't do like come, stay, heel, come, stay, heel. You know, so you'll pick up on that pattern. I try to mix things up. You know, so first you did a recall into a side step, into a stay, into a heel, into another stay. Then we did recall into heel, into stay. You know, we left out the side steps. Because we're using conflicting behaviors. So especially the recall, because it's a lot of follow, follow, follow. And all of a sudden it's like stay. And you move away. And the fact that you're holding still just shows you just the concept that you have. That's really, really good. Okay? So now when you work with them, you can make, you know, the monotonous like, you know, just recall after recall into like other stuff. Okay? When he's out with his friends and stuff, his buddies, as he's playing while it's tough, and then you don't release him. You wait. Maybe the crowd comes running through and he's like, okay, you gotta stay here. Or I go heel, and I walk with him, and I walk with his buddies that are playing.
Oh man, that's gonna be hard.
You know?
But that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
When he gets there, I'll be like, yes,
And
you made it.
I can tell you, you're already there. It's just something.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Alright.
Okay? So, yeah. Now what you do is grab his leash, and you're gonna walk with him. Tap, tap, and you lead him back right here. Don't worry about heel. Walk, tap, tap, and hold right here. Tap. Now you're gonna step away, nothing here. So when we correct a big break and stay, I'm tapping the entire time he breaks. He's gonna think return, and you lead him back to general area. Doesn't have to be perfect, okay? But it's like you were in a down, you have to go back into a down position. Okay? Here he was gonna sit. You didn't say anything. What did you do?
Yeah.
Right? And then he stepped away and he changed his shit. So dogs actually retain things. Like from what everybody always repeats things again. I never repeat. I say it once and I reinforce it for everything. That's why I never have to repeat anything. So the dog can go, man, if I don't want to get tapped, I just don't screw up.
Yeah.
So the more he gets of that, the less you have to use it over time. Okay? Unless it's like an emergency type scenario, or he makes mistakes, like everybody makes mistakes. But the use of that, the frequency, as you start to tighten the adjusted less and less.
I got you.
So yeah, use your environment to your advantage. One thing I will say is, if I know I'm probably gonna have to compensate with power, because his buddies are there, I might want to practice this first like heel with other dogs and a dog park. Right? Because you want to account for, well, if I have to jack it up, maybe he's still going to make mistakes. Okay, maybe he's still going to shoot off, that I'm not going to be worried, if we're out in the open and he's like leashes and stuff, you know what I mean? Because he's not going to be able to have this and play with 6 dogs and get all things up.
Yeah.
Okay, so use those things to your advantage. And, I worry about the recall of the dog park.
but I'll worry about the heel, practicing that there.
Yeah.
You know, and or doing a stay, like stepping away from them. As dogs are running, sniffing at them, walking away, you know, dropping a ball, receive type stuff. Like, yes, he is perfectly able to do that. It just isn't important enough for him to do that. Okay.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I walked in, I was like, oh, he knows his stuff, but like, he was getting like so lax. So like, this is good that we're
Blending it all together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So next, because I think you guys do 6, right?
Yeah.
Next, So there's another command that we can learn that's stationary control.
Yeah.
So I can bring one with me. And that would be like, because stay, like, you're not going to have to stay like sitting for like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
You need something that's just a down or a go here and go move. And place is easy to see.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why I was asking about the down earlier, but place is easy to do down.
Okay.
So I thought if this went faster, we would work on down, but we took up this was the fast, so fine, we covered a lot.
Yeah.
But well, we could teach the placement, and then you have what I call the trifecta of walk with me, come to me, and then don't move. Okay.
That could be like applied at like a patio or something.
A restaurant patio, a friend's house.
Yeah. When we're eating dinner.
Yeah. At anywhere where you're like, you know what, I don't want you to move. And it's easy because it's just go here, as opposed to like lay down and move, or like, because here, this sit, you have to keep that position until you release it.
Right.
There is no gray area. There's standing is not like that. With the place command, you can sit, stand, or lay down. You just can't leave the face of the bed.
Gotcha, okay.
Okay? So yeah, so I have it with me for next time. Okay, cool. Otherwise, very
Awesome.
good.
Thank you.
Okay. Up, still. Oh, shit. Okay. Now even back, step, 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 right there, and then just step away. And you know why he did that, right?
Like you said, we're like, all right, let's
The
go.
energy all changed, right?
Yeah.
But now you just learn, oh, that energy has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
That's how this stuff works.
Yeah.
And that's why I had to place him here, go over there, because I knew I was going to gas my mouth a little bit, and we're going to see how long you're holding it. So, okay.
Perfect.
Good job, guys.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Let me think here. And in the home, he's good.